Be focused on is all the possibilities of what will happen when we're in this stance. Because the number one reason why you don't stick with the game plan is because you got pushed. Somebody put pressure on you and you're like, ah, crap, I better do something different, all right? But if we have trained these same moves over and over, the more pressure they put, the more focused on our moves we are, okay? It's important to understand that's half of the reason why wrestling is such an amazing thing, is because when life puts the pressure on you, you will go into wrestler mode and you'll focus. Your adrenaline will not make you make worse decisions. You will chill out and you'll make better decisions while everyone else is panicking. All right? Because you've been put in a headlock for 45 seconds while you couldn't breathe. It's real. It makes you stronger. You're able to take on life a little harder when you've been almost choked unconscious by someone. It's not necessarily fun, but it helps you become a stronger person. All right? So when we get into this stance, we just talked about the first thing that they're probably going to do, which is touch our head. When they touch our head, one thing we weren't really getting is when you go to like dodge a punch or something, you don't just go this way, right? Because if he goes to touch my head, I'm probably just going to go straight into his hand. So when he goes to touch my head, I move away and then down, right? So he goes to touch my head, it's a slip and a roll, right? Except for my roll is almost slip, roll into a single leg. All right, but that's just like one of our options, probably the most obvious option. What's another thing Alberto could do right here? Snap, yes, but think about like the most risk-free thing you could do. Hand control. Always think hand control, guys. The number one contact you want to make is not to the head, it's to the hands, all right? A rookie goes head first. An experienced wrestler knows wrist control is number one, okay? Movement's number one, honestly, but wrist control's next. All right, so he goes wrist control. Now, in this position, I can either panic and stand up, or I can go to my moves that I practice. I'm going to keep this wrist on my wrist, and I'm just going to take my right hand up to his arm. All right? Now, when I go right hand up to his arm, I'm going to pull this hand and throw my hand to the right. All right? Because watch, if he has my wrist, and I just pull this, he's got my wrist. There's no way I can pull it away. If I use my hand and I go the same way with it, then bring it back, I'm good. All right, so in my stance, Alberto goes to contact, makes wrist control. I go up to the elbow. Both my hands throw it by. Now it depends on how good your throw by was. That was a pretty good throw by. Whee! Right? That's what I want. That's the number one. But a lot of times, he's going to be here, and I'm going to do my move, and he's going to step a little. What should I do here? Should I leave this arm behind or keep it? Just keep it and use the shoulder, right? You don't always want to go legs if you can control their whole body. So again, we're here. He goes to grab wrist. I go under the arm above his elbow. Not below the elbow, above his elbow where his tricep is. Then I throw my left hand and my right hand to the right. Now, he might even recompose a little bit and back up after he steps, right? Now I decide, what do I want to do? Do I go single leg? Do I even just pull this and step up? Right? Or if you want to get real fancy, you can take your left leg and shoot an inside fireman's. Right here. All right, one more time with the inside fireman for people who want to do that. We're here. He grabs my wrist, under the arm, throw both arms to the right. Now, if he steps back and he makes a little window for me, my left foot is going to duck walk in. My head comes inside. This is a fun one. All right? Yeah, that's not a good one. So Alberto's going to do it to me because it sucks. All right? So he's down in a stance, boom. Wrist control, right? And wrist control is either way. Doesn't matter. I like to grab this way because it's harder to do an arm drag. This is the way where it's easy to arm drag. He goes for his arm drag. If you want to do the fireman's, you got to come head in right here. And I'll pull this down and just flip me over your body. Yep. One more. Perfect, perfect. 1, 2, 3.